Hemp, sisters and brothers, welcome to the house of divinity. I am Proof B, or Professor Bates for long. Welcome. So, let me get a little closer because it's like early in the morning and my tenant hasn't gone to work as usual. So he's probably still asleep. But on this video, where's the other half of my face? On this video, I wanted to make a part 2 of, I think it was the last video I made, which was about cannabis, hemp, and marijuana. They both start out as one plant, and then later on you have to separate them for the marijuana to become marijuana. So, what I'm doing is marijuana is not just for hippies anymore. Most of you probably don't even know what a hippie is. Well, see, part of my life was coming up in the 1960s. Wow, that's a long time ago, man. And in the 60s, that's when the Caucasus Asian people had their revolutions, the sexual revolution and all that type of stuff. Now, it was spearheaded by the use of marijuana, and LSD was introduced into the population. So that's really where all this sexual revolution and the women wanting to vote and all kind of stuff came from. But I'm making this a part 2 because there was a whole lot of stuff that I left out of part 1. Mainly because I, mentioned that we in the house of divinity call this the holy herb. We don't call it weed, man. Like garbage. We call it the holy herb for a specific reason. Now, as I mentioned before, when I say house of divinity, in the ancient Kemetic or ancient Egyptian language, Per, which was the Medunet or the hieroglyphics was basically a square. Per was house or church. It could be translated as either. Obviously, I don't use church because then everybody think I'm just talking about Jesus. And no, I'm not. I'll talk about it, but I'm not a preacher. I'm not a Israelite. I'm none of that. Don't put labels on me. The only label I put on myself is maybe teacher. But since I don't have any students right now, at the time of this video, I can't even take that label. I'm just Roy. Anyway, so as you know, why I mentioned that is because most cha-chas or most denominations, even if there was no other translation of the Bible, you have all these different denominations. If there was just the King James double, or excuse me, if there was just the King James version, you would still have all these denominations, like money denominations. So you have Methodists who feel they have the correct method, and you have Protestants who follow the protesters, and you have Lutherans who follow Martin Luther, and you have all kinds of other mixed up stuff in there, and and why I'm mentioning that is because this whole that whole denomination takes one part, one piece of this one book and create a whole concept. The Baptists, they throw you in water and almost drown you, to baptize you. You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is figure out what's the name of the group, and then you'll find out what part of the Bible they took out and made it a whole concept. So, why am I mentioning that? Because my little piece of the Bible is, what is it? Is Ezekiel 34:29. I'll get to that in a moment. Now, in the original language of the Bible, cannabis was called cannabalsam. Here you go in the Hebrew, and then here goes, well, you can't see it. I'm going to have to talk about all this type of stuff. But here go the translation, da 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 da. So, it's not a new thing that's just been put in the the King James version or the new version of the Bible. It's very old. And when you study this stuff, you find out that a lot of stuff that God was like, you didn't sacrifice this, and then you find out in the original language, the so-called Hebrew, Ifri, God, Ilion El, the Most High God, was like, where is my cannabalsam? What? Yeah. I'm not making it up because it's in the book. Anyway, let's move on. Now, as I said, my little piece that I'm taking from the Bible is in Ezekiel 34:29. Now, we also get into a little bit of numerology because in the original language Hebrew, Ifri of the Bible, each letter had a number associated with it. So they were into their numerology, which they call gematria. But anyway, Ezekiel 34. So 3 and 4 is 7. Then it's 34:29. 2 and 9 is 11. 7, 11, which equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. 9 is the highest number you can reach before you start over again. Now you call it 10, but it's just a 1 with a 0 next to it. You start counting all over again till you get to 9. So every time you get to 9, that's the highest you can go on that level. So we say 9 to the ninth power of 9. Power to the 9. But this is from, is this, well, this, that, put the book. This is from Ezekiel. I don't think this is the whole thing, but I'm going to read it. Whatever, yeah. Because I want to make a few points on this passage from the Bible, from your Bible. I think I got it from the regular old King James Version, not the new King James Version. Let me get up close so you can hear what I'm saying here. Now, first of all, Ezekiel 34:29 is called the covenant of peace, a plant of renown. Just the title alone, I'm like, come on, covenant of peace. What happens when you're smoking the holy herb? You're peace, you're like, you ain't thinking about fighting. Well, I ain't gonna speak for everybody, but anyway, a plant of renown. This is I didn't make that part up. It's in your Bible. Okay, so Ezekiel 34. Now, one thing you got to remember: this is not Abraham or Abraham. This is not Moses. This is not Jesus. This is Elyon El, the most high, talking. You gotta talk like God when you talk. And I will make with them a covenant of peace. And I will cause the evil beast to cease. He's a poet too. And I will cause the evil beast to cease out of the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness. Okay, stop. They shall dwell safely in the wilderness. It didn't say nothing about staying in the city and trying to keep it together and trying to cure the air and the water and the food. Wilderness means get the hell out of the cities. Anyway, let's move on. And they shall dwell safely in the wilderness and sleep in the woods. Well, out here, we got woods out here. And I will make them and the places round about my hill. Stop. Well, I haven't talked about it yet, but we're going to talk about the pyramids here in America that they call hills or mounds or pyramids, older than the pyramids of Giza. Anyway, let's move on. I will make them a place around my hill, a blessing, and the tree of the field shall yield her fruit. Stop. The tree of the field. Now, if you just throw some cannabis seeds down, it'll just grow like it'll just grow. The tree in the field will yield her. If you remember, I told you one plant, cannabis, grows the male side, which is, cannabis, the male side, which is hemp, and the female side, which is marijuana, and shall yield her fruit, and the earth shall yield her increase, and they shall be safe in their land. Stop. In their land. Can you own the land around your apartment? Do you think you own the land that you bought your house on? No. You got a lease, or you have what they call that when you have a mortgage. Anyway, no, you don't own it. And be safe in their land, and shall know that I am the Most High. Now, in the book, it probably say the Lord or some other mistranslation. The original Hebrew Ifri says Ilion El, which means the Most High. I'm not making this stuff up. So now I'm going to be talking in red. When I have broken the bands of their yoke and delivered them out of the hand of those that served of them. I wonder who that is. And they shall no more be a prey to the heathen. Don't stop. I'm not going to go there. Neither shall the beast of the land devour them. I'm not going to go there either. But they shall dwell safely in their land, and none shall make them afraid. So now, the first one was in black, the second one in red, the last one I'm going to read is in green. And this is the part that really is what this house is about. And I will raise up for them a plant of renown. Stop. In this day and time, look around you. I ain't making this shit up. Well, don't say shit in that chat. Look around you. Am I making it up? Is this not what people are like? It's the end. No, this is really the end, because people are crazy as hell. Anyway, what other plant right now, is more renowned all over the world than cannabis? I'm waiting. What plant is more renowned all over the world? Not just America, not just ginseng from China, the world over. Cannabis and its medical, its medical properties is renowned. If you've been under a rock and haven't been studying. And I will raise up for them a plant of renown, and they shall be no more consumed. I like to say consumers. What are so-called African Americans? All we do is consume. What do we make? And they will be no more consumers. Consumed with hunger in the land. Now, if a few of us got together and grew hemp, hemp is also food. It is one of the most one of the most perfect foods. This plant is off the chain, renowned. No more hunger in the land. I'm going to talk like God. Neither bear the shame of the heathen anymore. Now here's where some of my interpretation come in. The shame of the heathen. Now in y'all's Bible, they talk about not mixing specific materials like linen and cotton. And I just seen a video where the guy matched the different frequencies of each, and they cancel each other out and all that type of stuff. So I look at it like hemp again actually makes like stuff like this. It makes you can make it don't do nothing but sit there if you just let it sit there. You can make or we can make our own clothing. What are y'all doing now? Oh, I gotta get up and go to the job and work for Heppa Sippa Sippa. Get out of here. And bear the shame of the heathen anymore. So it says bear the shame. That's why I'm thinking clothes. So this is like bearing the shame. Stuff made of nylon and rayon and ultron and sutron. Y'all don't even know what the heaven. We can say hell in the chat. Y'all don't even know what the hell, but I say heaven. Y'all wearing. You don't know what you're eating. You don't know what you're eating. You don't know what you're feeding your children. You don't know what you're wearing. You don't know what they're teaching you or your children in school. You don't know who you work for. What do you know, African American? What do you know? I'm waiting. So, I know this. Ezekiel 34:29. And I will raise up for them a plant of renown, and they shall be no more consumed with hunger in the land, neither shall they bear the shame of the heathen any more, saith Elion El, the Most High. Well, I just wanted to get that off my chest because I didn't say it on the first video. But let me say some of this other stuff right quick, that I didn't also say on the first video. Now, the oldest, I mentioned it, but I didn't have it available. The oldest medical book on earth is called, I didn't know the name, the Ebris Papyrus. Again, from where? Ancient Kemet, or y'all might say Egypt. Want to see it? There you go. Now that's just a little picture. I'll show y'all a bigger picture like later when I get into it. Now, why I mention that is because some of the cures that they talk about in this oldest medical book, here's the papyrus, and here it is in another script, demonic, that these was geniuses. They had 3 scripts. So it mentions cannabis in the oldest medical book on earth. Now, if you went to the Black Panther, you've probably seen that the Black Panther was standing on this panther or leopard statue goddess. Now this is actually the goddess of ancient Kemet, Egypt, Bastet or Bast. Now, at the center of the hemp plant is the strongest of the fibers of the whole plant. Guess what its name is? Bast fibers. Who thought of that? Who came up with that? I don't know. Now, I also mentioned that the oldest chalice, we say chalice, but y'all might say bong, the oldest one was found in Ethiopia. Now, I have to make a distinction because they say that the oldest people who use the hemp as fiber to make clothes and stuff and rope was the Chinese. But this says, and I read it last time on the first video, that the oldest evidence of actually smoking was in what they call Africa. And here's the bong that they found, or the holy chalice, we say, because we smoke the holy ab. There you are. I ain't making it up. What's that down there? Oh, let me show you a few more examples. Oh, no, wait a minute. No, I apologize. That one is old, but it's not the oldest. That one is the oldest. Because that's what I have under there, the oldest. Now, there you go right there. Now, look at that one, the oldest. And look at the one that we have. That's me. I'll get into that later. So, you see what I'm saying? These are studies. I've done the study. I'm not just saying, yo, dude, let's smoke a new bong. Study. Alright, so I'm going to put this in back because this is not the oldest. Now, lastly, oh no, that was it. So, I just wanted to make that part 2 of talking about how, well, I haven't really talked about how we're going to be using the cannabis in all ways. Most people only know recreational. Medical is, people are starting to learn about that. But there is also spiritual or sacrament. There's also the economic side. I'm not talking about, yo man, dispensaries make a lot of money, dude. No. How do we make money? Those of us who, get together with it. How do we make money off of this herb? Oh, that's what I didn't talk about. The Rick Simpson oil off the chain. If you take a pound of cannabis, marijuana, not hemp, not CBD oil, marijuana, that y'all call it, marijuana, and cook it to it's about this much, like a little vial, it cures cancer. Look it up, Rick Simpson oil. Look it up. I'm not making this stuff up. Okay, that's enough. I'm out. Peace. Curing cancer. Oh, the point is, as an actual ordained cat, I can make my own medicine. I can grow herb without their license. All that. I'm out. Peace.